Good morning, everybody. Ian asked me to just give a brief, I keep calling it a blurb, which is probably not very sophisticated or romantic, but just to speak with you briefly about stewardship from the standpoint of my role as the treasurer. And I'm humbled and delighted to be able to offer up what I think is a very optimistic view of our church at this time, due to the incredible efforts of Anna and Bruce. The revenue stream that we will have from the rectory this next year is actually our largest of all of our sources of income, and is stable for the 18 months at least for the lease that is currently signed with the tenant, who's a family who's enrolled in our nursery school also, which makes a really nice tie for us there, continuing to keep the rectory really in our campus orbit. Additionally, so relieved to say that both of the schools have been able to continue operations, the nursery school in particular at the level essentially that a normal year would have represented, as a result of so many of the fees at the beginning of the year, giving them a strengthened position. Both the schools and their directors and all of their teachers, I think, have been incredibly responsive and flexible and creative, and just strong in the face of this pandemic, and continuing to serve the children in our community and bring them joy at their dance classes and joy in their classrooms and with each other. The nursery school is positioned to reopen their 2-year-old program next year, which is great news, and will help us keep the really competitive edge that we have in this community, by providing, again, nursery education for 2-year-olds up through 6-year-olds. And then the strength of our parishioners this year in the commitment to sticking with our church, and the enthusiasm with which I think we've all embraced Ian, rightfully so. But another big change for us as a congregation and a community, and we are so lucky to have Ian at our leadership, and that's what I think that this next year really needs to support. I think with strengthened and stable leadership, we will have opportunities to do more community outreach, which we have been working so hard. And I don't want to not give so much credit to Alan and to David and to Helen for their efforts in this area as well. But we will only be able to strengthen that if we continue to be strong financially. Also increased pastoral care, to the extent that Ian will be able to provide that in the pandemic. But as we come out of the pandemic, I think it's obvious that so many people will require and benefit from additional pastoral visits that Ian would be able to make to them in the name of St. Saviour's. Additionally, we are in a great position, I think, to show the diocese that we are coming out of all of this change and the pandemic stronger than we've been in probably 10 years. Sorry, my dog is coughing. But that we've paid back our loan from ECCT, so we don't owe them any money. And we've applied for forgiveness for our payroll protection plan loan, which we anticipate, I'll knock wood, but we anticipate getting. And then if we can show them again, these 3 revenue streams, the rectory, the schools and the fees that they give us for the use of our building, and then of course our pledges as a community and as a congregation. I think that, if I'm being honest, the pledges are what will mean the most to Bishop Douglas and to the rest of leadership at ECCT, to show that we have a continually invigorated congregation who's committed to the strength of our leadership and our infrastructure and our congregation. He's not on Zoom today, but I am very grateful to Tom Steen, who is making a very generous donation towards getting air conditioning in our church, which is something that He's long wanted, and we're working with him and Toyota as matching his donation. So another very important part, I think, to our future beyond our leadership is making sure that our campus, which is so beautiful, and our buildings remain in great shape to attract other parishioners, other congregants, and of course to house our two schools comfortably and safely. So that's just a little basis of where we stand financially, with a little bit of color from my own opinions. And Ian, thank you for inviting me to speak to this morning. I'm always here if anybody has any questions about our financials or ways that people can donate either through stock or cash or other gifts. And please reach out to me anytime if I can be of help in as we make these decisions moving into the next year about our contributions to the church.
Jordan, thank you. Thank you very much.